All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new week and yet another exclusive episode of the Reality Kenya. My name is Simi Kenya. Of course, we are live from the Learned Corner as usual, and our guest is the Deputy Party Leader of Safina Party, Honorable Wakili Willis Otieno, Piki Ponki. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
It's a rainy day.
Yes. Where was Paka over the weekend?
Paka over the weekend was in Kisumu. It was talking to the people of Kisumu about the state of the nation.
Yes.
And in particular the Luo nation on our options to government.
Yes.
And also more importantly, talking about the national challenges that we are facing today. And even from the call-ins, it's coming out that debt still remains the overriding issue in this country. And that debt is causing us intolerable pain. And if you look at Kenya Kwanza's failures, Kenyans have come to terms that there's nothing good that will come out of this administration.
Yes.
I saw yesterday they were touting that World Bank has promised them some funds in development financing, 1.2 trillion Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing that Kenyans need to understand is that, number one, that is just a proposal. It is subject to the board's approval. And World Bank only finances what is called project development financing. So that money that is going to be used for project development. And one thing also you need to notice is that when World Bank finances you, there's what we call counterpart funds, which you have to raise on your own. So once you raise your counterpart funds, then you do your drawdowns. That's the ability not to access the funding that they have given you. So it can be 15% counterpart funds. So if they're giving you 1.2 trillion, you have to raise from own resources 15% of it. And once you pay that, then you're able to cumulatively start drawing down, because it's over a period of time, not one financial year. And that by itself will not address our problems. IMF equally signed a promise, again subject to its board's approval, of funding of 142 billion in debt. And we must understand one thing. You know, what these international bodies are doing is affirming what we've been talking about. We are moving towards now an attempt to restructure the debt that Kenya has. And that is how it starts. Whatever they are going through today in Kenya, Ghana was with IMF 17 times. And they still got a debt distress exchange. They still defaulted on their debt. Ethiopia last week also announced what is moving towards a debt restructure after several sessions and going through several programs of IMF. So the fact that IMF is now engaging with you does not mean that you're out of the debt trap. You are still there. You must still go back and look at what is this debt and how do we get out of it, because those interventions by IMF, World Bank, will not in any way solve the debt problem. They are what we call short-term measures, but the long-term impact of them are still very dire. You will notice with the IMF funding or debt, there's also what we call conditionalities. So Kenyans need to understand the terms and conditions, the fine print of that. And the last time when we went through a full IMF package, we ended up having what you call restructuring of the civil service, downsizing
of the civil servants.
Yes, because they say government reducing subsidies, government reducing its workforce. That was the restructuring. So that's when we had the retrenchment program for civil servants and people working in the public service. That is when we had the government removing all subsidies. Funding to university education was reduced. Government went into privatization. We started privatizing some of your national assets. So it's a painful process.
So these loans also come with their own terms?
Yes, of course. Because remember, when IMF is coming into your country, you've been a delinquent. And they are not going to reward your delinquency. Because it is other taxpayers' money. It is from other countries. The IMF does not print its own money. It's contributing from other countries.
Yeah.
So those taxpayers of those other countries who have contributed to this fund, it's their money that is being used there.
Yeah.
So don't think that Kenyans will misbehave, then other countries' taxpayers' money will be used to pat you on the back. No, it comes with conditions.
Yeah.
You must now live a very trim life. And in fact, I can see already there's going to be a problem between Kenya and IMF very soon. I told you that the price of fuel was going to rise to 230.
Yes.
Last week, EPRA released the price projections for the month of November 14th,
yes,
ending on December 14th.
Yes.
And in their projected costs, they affirmed what I told you, that the price was going to be 230. But they decided to use Stabilisation Fund and maintain at 217.
Yes.
That is a subsidy by another name, still a subsidy. When you are in the IMF program, they'll tell you, no, you cannot subsidize anything because you're cutting down on government exposure, government expenses, and allow the market to settle where it belongs. And the Kenya Kwanza market, when it is settled where it belongs, the price of fuel this month should have been 230 Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
The price of fuel next month will be 240 or 245 if they allow the market to settle where it is, minus Stabilisation Fund. So you are going to see, I believe there's going to be a tussle around that. How do you access these funds and yet you're introducing subsidies to your certain basic products?
So this was just a short-term.
It's a short-term
mode of cooling Kenya.
Yes, and I'm telling you, this was because they understood that the people, and rightfully so, the people are very angry. The economic policies have failed, and it is now paying every month. And even next month we will be here. I assure you, they'll be announcing that the price of petrol will go up. It will be 240. I want to see what miracle they are going to perform to maintain that even that 217. Because they must maintain at
for
217
that 1 month.
For that because it's December. People are going home for Christmas. So let them increase it by 10 shillings. From now 230 to 240. Then introduce the Stabilisation Fund. How much will the Stabilisation Fund accommodate? So
and
this
for how long?
And for how long? So IMF will tell you these are an artificial market rate. We need the real market price of petrol to be at the pump. And if they do that, more pain. That's why I say Kenyans should not be duped that, oh, we've accessed IMF credit. So we are okay. We are not okay. In fact, I'm seeing it coming to a head because the terms and conditions of the IMF lending and the conduct of the Kenya government is going to lead to a conflict, a clash of policies. And let's see how they're going to maneuver it. But of interest is, you noticed in Bomet over the weekend, citizens, great citizens of this country, expressed their displeasure with the petroleum CS, the energy CS, right in the presence of William Ruto. And they told him that you cannot address us. And that's the kind of attitude the Kenyans need to have. I always told Team Piki Piki Ponki that we should serve our truths to everybody who is holding public office. They must act in a manner that is accountable to us. You cannot just mismanage an entire sector and then we give you the honor to appear before us and talk to us. What are you telling us? Expect us to cheer. No, there's no cheering. We tell you and we serve our truths as we serve your lies. And progressively, you're going to see more and more Kenyans speaking up against this economic mismanagement of our nation. And I always urge that we must just go back to the debt, because that is the bane of our economy, the debt problem. You noticed the attempt now to increase, every government department is increasing the fees and charges that it is levying for their services. And remember, those government departments are already funded by the taxpayer. So our tax money is used to sustain those departments, so that they cannot now make a commercial case to increase those fees and levies. Because indirectly, we've already funded them. Why they're doing that takes you back to the terms and conditionalities, I'm telling you. IMF, I'm sure, has told them that Kenyans should pay, will find additional funding for Kenyans to sustain those services. So more and more, you're going to see an increase.
Each and every ministry.
Each department
Yeah.
are going to increase how much they charge for whatever service they offer to the people of Kenya. When you see that happening, just know that there is a push from another quota. That quota is called IMF.
Yes.
IMF in a country has never been a success.
Yeah.
Because they are not coming to save you.
They are also in business.
They are also in business. And you've invited them because of your delinquency.
Yeah.
It's like saying a truant. You run away from school, you escape from school, and then you are being rewarded with candy. No. when you've been a truant in school,
Yes.
you are rewarded with punishment.
Yes.
So whatever you're going to go through is pain.
Yeah.
So Kenyans will go through pain. And also because of the failed economic policies of this regime.
Yeah.
So IMF will come and their terms and conditions will be very bitter to swallow.
Yeah.
It is a bitter pill. No country has gone through that IMF experience successfully and said it was a very comfortable period in our history. It was for all countries, it's been a painful period. And you only get back to economic comfort when you start initiating and implementing policies that are inward-looking and resonate with the economic trajectory of your nation.
Yeah.
So as it is now, we must still, as Kenyans, look within ourselves and find solutions to our debt problem. And my party leader, Jimmy Wanjigi, has always said, the problem is this debt. We've done our forensic audit of the debt. We found what debt is legal, what debt is odious. Odious debt, not to be paid. Legal debt, to be paid. If we do the arithmetics, Kenyans have overpaid their legal debt. We are now being forced to carry the burden of an illegal debt. An odious debt is what is choking us down our throats. That odious debt is debt that was taken. Some didn't even land in Kenya. Some was not used to sustain or to implement any development project in this country. Some was used to pay for recurrent expenditure, which is illegal because our laws don't allow you to borrow for recurrent expenditure. Our laws only allow you to borrow for development expenditure. And the onus was on those banks and those financial institutions that gave the Kenya government money to use for recurrent expenditure to carry the burden. Because there's what we call buyer beware. The banks and the financial institutions had a responsibility to interrogate Kenyan law in relation to debt. And then go through and say, the laws of Kenya say you only take a loan for projects or development finance. So when the Kenya government came to you and told you we want a loan of this much, we want a Eurobond of this much, then you should have asked, this Eurobond that you're taking, what project is it going to be used for? Is it going to fund? And where is the approval of your parliament? Because you must also get approval of parliament to take any loan. So you get approval show us the approval of parliament, show us the project that is going to be financed using that project, then we can advance to you the loan. But people just giving it because someone has appeared at your doorstep that I'm government of Kenya, I'm the president, and you give a loan. That is somebody who is acting outside the ambit of our laws. And our laws are very clear. The president is president because he was made president by the law. It is the law that creates that office of president. So he is also subject to the laws of the republic. That is what our constitution is about. So if anybody engaged in our national executive, our finance treasury or treasury CS, outside the ambit of our laws, why should we pay for that debt? Why? That is an odious debt. They should actually pay it themselves. They should pay it themselves. In fact, we should accuse them of misrepresenting the nation. And they carry that burden. So it cannot be that the poor Kenyans are the ones to underwrite that misadventure that is illegal. That is why, as we've said, this debt is odious, don't pay it. And you remove odious debt from the books, we are debt-free. We are debt-free, we are able to now use our own resources to finance our budget. And the appetite to increase fees, to increase the cost of fuel, it goes down. We now not need to have fuel at 16% VAT. In fact, we may go back to the earlier days where there was no VAT on fuel.
Oh.
Yes.
There was a time fuel
Was VAT free. You don't charge VAT on fuel. For a simple reason that fuel it has other charges already that are pegged on that on fuel.
In terms of services.
In terms of services, yes. Even fuel levy. There are many taxes. Even the Railway Development Fund is in your pump price. So you have so many other taxes that are within that excise duty. Many other taxes are there. So you just remove VAT on fuel. And you remove VAT on fuel, for example, the price exponentially comes down. And when the price of fuel comes down, you can imagine the consumption of that fuel goes up. Right? And with a lot of consumption of fuel, you start seeing the economy driving. It goes up, there's a lot of activity. If somebody was plowing, for example, 1 acre of land using a tractor, he can now, because he has more money to pay for the tractor, fuel, he can now plow 5 acres of land. A manufacturer who is using lorries to distribute, because he factors in the fuel costs on the price of his product, he is now spending far much less in fueling his vehicles, trucks. So it will be transferred. So even the price of his goods will come down. So fuel is a very important driver of the economy. A border that was charging you 300 Kenya shillings will now charge you 200 Kenya shillings to a destination, because the fuel price has come down.
The extra 100 shillings you can
use it somewhere. Use it on something else that will also boost production. It circulates more now in the economy, because now you can even use it on a highly consumable good that you need. So if the border can as well buy a loaf of bread on his way to do the delivery. So the baker will have to bake more bread. Because now your border is just buying bread everywhere as they're delivering their services. Okay? Now, these are very mundane things, but the long-term impact of them on the economy is very huge. Because once you have an increased production, government also will collect more in revenue. Okay? In terms of corporate tax, sales tax, pay as you earn for those who are going to employ more people. And you're able to collect money to run your government services and also to carry out development activities. That is what, as Team Piki Piki Ponki, we advocate as the next frontier of our country. I always tell you, where we are today is not different from where we were in 1952. When Mau Mau and other Kenyans were fighting for liberation of this country politically. It is not different from where we were in the 1990s, when Baba Raila Odinga, Kenneth Matiba, Charles Rubia, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Masinde Muliro, Ahmed Bamariz, Itobu Manyara, James Orengo, were fighting for the second liberation of this country and for the introduction of multi-party democracy. We are now where we are, fighting for an economic liberation of this country. This is what we call the third and final liberation, the economic emancipation of our people. So this is war. And Kenyans have a duty to play their role to make sure that we overcome this economic pain that we are going through. And you will only do it when you have a political administration that understands what we are going through. Because when you listen to Kenya Kwanza sometimes speak, you actually wonder where they live in this country. Because there's too much disconnect. They talk about the economy has stabilized, the price of goods and services has gone down. I witnessed Kirinyaga over the weekend. The president telling Kenyans that the price of unga has come down to 130.
138. They said.
They told him where? I mean, the people of Kirinyaga are right to ask him, say no. They told him no. We've not seen it. Right? You know, when the economy is working, no one needs to tell you. You feel it.
You don't need to explain.
Yes, you feel it because you are the one who is participating in that economy. We will feel a positive trajectory in our lives when the economy is working. Now everybody is feeling a negative trajectory. Whoever you are, irrespective of who you are, everybody is feeling pain in one way or another. And that pain is the economic pain. That is why I say it is onerous upon us to understand that we are in an economic war. And we must liberate ourselves out of this by bringing into leadership people who understand what this is all about and can change the trajectory of this country to be one where you have a free economy that is not strangling the citizens of this country, that we are able to be free from economic slavery. We are able to implement economic programs and plans that are transformative in nature. Transformative in the sense that everybody should be able to participate in that economy without feeling this untoward pain we are going through today.
Wow.
Yes.
One last word to Team Piki Piki.
Team Piki Piki Ponki, we are growing and we are strong. We keep it live, we keep them, hold them to account, and we must push the conversation to be all about the economy. Anything else outside the economy is a sideshow, and we should not allow it. We should not be distracted. Eyes on the prize, eyes on the ball. It is the economy, stupid.
Wow. Thank you so much, Naibu.
Thank you.
May God bless you and have a blessed week.
Have a good day.
And to all Team Piki Piki Ponki and the Reality Kenya fans, may God bless you. Until next time, my name is Simi Kenya. Bye-bye.